Well, let's get started. So I'm going to briefly chat a little bit about our story. And I think in the end of the day, it's really connecting sort of these micro tasks that we're going to talk about today to sort of that big, large macro benefit. I'm not sure if anyone in the room is familiar with Intuit, but I thought I'd just share quickly a little about, this is really what we work on here. The team you just met today is really the focus on the QuickBooks team. So we really focus on improving the first time use for QuickBooks. But QuickBooks is not just a standalone product, it's part of a larger ecosystem. So we'll reference things like QuickBooks Payroll later today. We have a product called QuickBooks Self-Employed. And because we're one big company, we really want to scale out these first time use patterns across our other products like Mint and TurboTax. So if that's what we're working on, this is really how we work at Intuit. This is sort of our three principles, and we call it Design for Delight. You might have heard about it before, but I'll quickly walk you through it. The three principles is really deep customer empathy, this idea of going broad to go narrow, idea of coming up with a bunch of great ideas to really then find the best idea that's appropriate. And as Kylie and I share our journey, you'll see we're very much an experimental culture, so we're sort of learning and figuring out what works best, which leads into the last principle, which is rapid experimentation with customers. And that's really the fastest way to learn. I love this quote here. It says, watching how our customers behave is far better than our opinion. So taking these sort of opinions out of the meeting rooms and out of PowerPoint and getting it into that qualitative and quantitative data from our customers. We'll talk a lot about that today. So, if that's what we're working on is QuickBooks, and I kind of showed you how we work, we have this tool or model we reference called Apex. It's the Awesome Product Experience Framework. And we believe you have to sort of deliver three things to really get to awesome and really deliver benefit for customers. And at the very bottom of the pyramid, it's this idea of delivering the customer benefit. And we're going to be referring to this idea of delivering customer benefit throughout the day. But you can think of customer benefit as like the job that the customer's hired you to do. Right? In case of payroll, it's doing payroll for QuickBooks. So you have to kind of deliver that at the base foundation, sort of like Maslow sort of hierarchy of needs. And then a step up from that is not only has to be done, deliver the benefit has to be done with ease. So if you think of Google does a great job of delivering search with ease. Maybe, I don't know if anyone here is from Yahoo, but I think they deliver the benefit of searching, but Google took it to that next level and made it super simple. And that's how they got all that adoption. And if you get that, you're one step closer to really delivering value. And that last one is you really want to deliver positive emotion. And in Intuit, we've really focused on this last one, which is delivering benefit, ease, and then making it really delightful. And once you do that, then in theory, you're going to get to that really strong customer growth. So deliver the three, deliver delight. We have this hypothesis. We want to measure Net Promoter Score. You guys all familiar with NPS? I got a lot of heads nodding, great. So once we measure that, we then know that if we deliver all that, we should have growth in the organization. I think over the last 6 years, Intuit's really grown, and I think we've really improved our product offerings because we focused on this.
Great. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about our story and how the first time use team has changed over time and what we've focused on. To give you the high level, back in June of 2015, so almost a year ago, we were first tasked with redesigning kind of the first time use experience, and the team was kind of fully funded and resourced, and we needed to kind of figure out what were we going to do to explain this whole ecosystem that Stephen mentioned to new small business owners. So QuickBooks used to be kind of just a pure accounting solution. As it's grown over time, we've added lots of other features and jobs that we solve for customers. And so we face this challenge of how do we explain to them all these great features that they need and get them started up with that really quickly. So that was kind of where we started. We did a first test in December, and we were really focused then on tasks, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in detail. And at that point, after doing this test, we found out that that wasn't resonating really well with customers. It was too granular, it was too narrow, and they weren't able to kind of get the bigger picture of what they could achieve with this product. So then we switched our focus over to jobs, and by defining this kind of jobs framework and the hierarchy between jobs and tasks, we were better able to articulate what problems we were solving for customers, and I'll talk about that in a little more detail. And then from there, we started to talk about more detailed interface patterns, and that's kind of what you're seeing up on the walls over here. Because as Stephen mentioned, we really needed to scale then the solutions to a lot of different teams who are working on and solving these different problems across the organization. So we'll look at the end in our third exercise, we'll look at some of those patterns. You guys get a chance to kind of practice with those. And then lastly, now we're really focused on kind of solving jobs end to end and getting even deeper into the product. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So just to give you guys an overview of where we started. So we started here. This is what QuickBooks looked like when we first took on this project. And this is a dashboard experience. And just to give you a little background on why we focused here. So this is the first page that the user lands on after they go through kind of that initial setup flow, signing up for the product, creating an account, telling us about their business. And we found that flow in a lot of our early user testing, that flow wasn't too hard or too challenging. People were getting through it pretty quickly. I think we had like 99% of people hitting this page, so there wasn't a huge drop off in that funnel. But once users got here, we watched them really, really struggle with what to do next. They were super overwhelmed. There wasn't a lot of clarity around what to do first, second, or third. People really, really struggled. So we, at the same time, Facebook, I don't know if you guys remember this, had come out with some research that they had done around what are the actions that a user needs to do in order to get them to become a durable Facebook user, like logging in and actively engaging. And after that research, they found that it's 7 friends. You have to connect with 7 friends. Once you hit that 7 friends mark, you have enough kind of momentum in the network that you're going to come and actively kind of check in and see what your friends are doing and post things. So our data research team, data analytics team, did the same thing for QuickBooks. What actions do users take in product that are going to lead them to be what we call durable active users, which are people who, after 90 days, continue to kind of log in and use the product regularly, at least once a month. And so we were looking for that same kind of what we called silver bullet, like what's that same number of things or engagement do we need to see in order to predict what users will do. And what we found out was that it's 45 tasks in the first 7 days. So users needed to accomplish 45 things in QuickBooks. I mean, it's crazy, right? Users have to do 45 tasks within the first 7 days of using QuickBooks in order for us to reasonably assume that they'll be a durable active user. And at this point, we thought, oh, great, we have all this great data. We know exactly what the tasks are. And to give you a sense for what a task could be, it could be something like connecting your bank and downloading transactions. And if you download 45, that kind of ticks the box for 7 tasks. So there's some like minutia in the way that we actually measured tasks. But we had all this great data. So we knew which tasks were correlated with durable active use, and we knew which tasks were correlated with conversion. So we have a 30-day trial period, and so we knew which tasks were correlated with people actually subscribing at the end of that period. And so we thought, hey, great, so we'll just serve up these tasks in a really delightful way, and people will do them, and then they'll convert. And so we kind of thought like we had something here. And we basically came out with this design, which I don't know if you can kind of tell, but they're these dashboard cards, and we put the tasks on the cards, and when you hover over them, it does this nice little animation, and you can see how to do the task. And there's some video content and learning content as well. And at first we thought this is great because users were engaging twice as much with this content as they were with this content, even though a lot of the tasks were kind of the same tasks but reformatted. And so we thought like, oh great, engagement's really high. But then what we realized is people weren't actually following through and finishing the task. And then when we started to test this with more and more users, we started to realize that people weren't also connecting these tasks with the overall benefit of QuickBooks and using it as an ecosystem to run your small business. We found that they were way too granular. So things like Connect a Bank, users couldn't understand how that was going to help them finish the job of accounting. What does connecting my bank have to do with accounting? How am I even going to get that benefit? So then we started to think about, okay, so what are the jobs that customers are coming in to do? And we really took a step back and looked at it from a customer focused. And we said, what jobs are they talking about doing? What are they coming to us with? And we started to kind of align the groups on what those different jobs were. And then we tested it in an email test. We tested jobs-based messaging as opposed to task-based messaging. You can see here in the red is what it was when it was task-based and what it is as job-based. You can see that there's a lot more engagement when we started to frame things at that kind of higher level job, the jobs to be done or the thing that the user wants to get done. So these are some examples of what the jobs are that the QuickBooks ecosystem solves, like accounting and borrowing money and paying bills, paying employees. So things like manage expenses resonated a lot better than Connect Bank, which is kind of that micro task. So that kind of led us to these definitions, which help kind of frame the way that we think about jobs and tasks and how to serve up the right level of granularity and hierarchy to the user at the right time. So if you think about the benefit, that's really what the user achieves when they complete one or more jobs. So in the case of payroll, as the example we'll use today, Payroll is done. I don't have to think about payroll at all. I never even worry about it. It's out of sight, out of mind. It kind of automatically goes. That's kind of the vision where we want to get to and the ultimate benefit that the customer is looking for. Like payroll, not a worry. Don't even have to think about it. And then when we think about offering, like what do we actually go to market with? Like what's the product we're going to sell? That's kind of the next level of hierarchy down. And for us, for payroll, for example, that's 2 jobs. So that's the job of paying my employees and then paying payroll taxes. And together, those 2 jobs put together into one offering makes what we have as a payroll product, as Stephen mentioned earlier. And then the job level is kind of the next level down, which is really that core function of what a user wants to complete. And that's made up of several tasks. And so, for example, here, a job is paying employees. And this might be at different levels of hierarchy depending on the types of jobs you guys solve in your day-to-day work. But for us, this is like roughly the right level where users can understand, okay, pay my employees, that's something I do regularly. That's something that it's on my mind that I've got to get done. And then lastly is tasks. So here we talk about kind of that most minutia level of detail, which is one of several steps that a user needs to do to complete a job. So in this case, every now and then I might need to add a new pay type. I decided I want to pay my employees with, I'm going to let them take tips. So now I need to add that new pay type in. So that's really kind of that most detailed level. And all of those tasks together build up to make jobs.
I love this quote. It's from Theodore Levitt. I think you probably heard it before, but this is the person who said it, is people don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill. They really want a 1/4-inch hole. And I think this really speaks to the job framework. People didn't come to QuickBooks to connect their bank. They came to manage expenses, and that's the job. But that task, we were leading with the task of connecting bank. And so today, as we go through the worksheets and exercises, we're really going to focus you guys on the job. So if you work at Uber or Pinterest, think about what that core job is. I think another great thing that Theodore said is he redefined what corporate purpose is, and he sort of is pretty famous for this. He said corporations should, instead of rather focusing on making money, they should really focus on creating and keeping customers. So if you measure the creation and retention of customers, how you're serving them, the money just comes naturally. Right, and I think it's wise words. He spoke about this in the 60s, so it's interesting. 40 years from now, we're kind of having this aha moment here at Intuit. So I think here, as another thing, so I think just to reinforce it, is people, will go out and buy your products and services to get the job done, and these products come and go. I think, especially now in the context of mobile, customers can go to the App Store in 5 seconds, hear about an app word of mouth, download it, saying, is it going to service my job, yes or no? And if it doesn't, especially during the first time use experience, they're gone. They're deleting it in 10 seconds. So now more than ever, it's so important for us to focus on the job, right? Because if we focus on the job and solve it well, they'll stay and retain. I think this is sort of one of the biggest takeaways from today. And you're actually seeing, I think, the apps we love, the things we do every day. Even in the App Store, you're seeing the products we love framing up their apps in terms of jobs. You look at Amazon here, it's Amazon's job is online shopping, and their pitch is Earth's biggest selection in your region. We'll kind of talk about how to measure this later, but they're framing this up. Uber is get fast, affordable, convenient rides at the tap of the button. That really markets and speaks to the job being done and why they're being hired. Notes all in one place for Evernote, and for QuickBooks, it's create invoices and estimates. Cool. So to kind of reinforce what Kylie said a little bit about that job to task framework here. Again, it's pay employees is the job, but within that, there's so many different tasks to pay the employees. You have to add the employees, you have to figure out the pay types, calculate the paychecks. It goes on. And in first time use, that's when you're really going to focus on how to serve up these tasks to solve the job well. And in task 2, we're going to talk about measuring that and how to focus and prioritize where in your organization you'll be doing your work. And the last point here is really, as Kylie alluded to, there's a whole bunch of patterns along the board. In exercise 3, we're going to be looking at the patterns we presented, and you guys are actually going to be sketching these to sort of solve that job, that task. Cool. So quick overview today, kind of reinforcing what Kylie said, is at the very top, there's the benefit, payroll is done. There's different jobs that go into that, pay employees, file payroll taxes. We'll talk later in the first exercise here about the first use framework. So we'll walk through that. Within each of those framework, there's going to be tasks you guys are going to be asked to map to, and later on we'll share particular patterns that map to those tasks that we think have proven working well for our organization.